We are finally back to the road to Judgment Day. We're finally going to complete this road to that we've been doing for probably close to a year now. I don't remember when we started it, but it's got to be pretty close to a year
This has
now.
been a long ass road to a mediocre show.
well, our I will say our next road to, which we will not be revealing until we get to the actual Judgment Day pay per view. That one will most likely be go by a lot quicker than this road to, especially. But seeing that last time we did a road to Judgment Day episode was back in July. This is our first
Yes.
wrestling review since July. We have literally been since July just doing Met monthly recaps,
Yeah, how
Islanders
fun that has
season
been.
Islanders season preview, the NFL season preview, and then the Islander monthly recaps. Which
Yeah, we did
now
do a wrestling video in
we did
August.
we did when
It was
Hogan
talking
passed.
about SummerSlam.
Well, before that, we did a video on when
Yeah.
Hogan passed. Yeah, so we did two. But this is the first time we're actually reviewing a show since July, which is crazy. Crazy. I had literally like just moved into this house. One of the biggest reason uh, was in October. I my subscription to Peacock ended, and I literally just resubscribed yesterday. That's why we're finally getting to this episode. When it comes to from July to October, that was just didn't have the time really to get to an episode. If I knew we were at the for some reason I thought we were like three Smackdowns away from the pay
I
per view,
knew
but
we,
we were
I knew we were on the go home show.
yeah, we were at the go home show. I didn't even realize that. If I had realized that when the subscription was ending in October, I would have gotten through that. Like, because I'm telling you, the next road to we do, we can do that no matter if I'm subscribed to anything or not. But
Don't
um,
worry, there's no Islander. There's not many Islander games in February.
yeah, yeah, because but we still have to recap that month though,
Yes.
which we'll probably do. Didn't we say we were going to do like a February March recap? We'll put them both
Yeah, but
together.
don't worry.
Yeah,
Now we have two Islanders who are playing in the Olympics.
yeah, and I don't care about that. So
I have to watch two games.
hmm, yeah, I won't be watching any of them. But
I will be recapping the Olympics. Don't you worry, folks.
so so the show in question that we are getting into, and as you see by my headline, this show there are a couple. There's a promo here from Eddie that is so perfect for the time, and this storyline itself is so perfect for the time. But the promo by Eddie, a lot of people need to listen to today because he summed everything up perfectly. And I would say if you have Peacock, just look for the May 13th, 2004 SmackDown and just watch Eddie Guerrero's promo, which is mainly about like how Eddie wanted to get revenge on JBL for his mother suffering the heart attack. And then obviously he's going to kick his ass at Judgment Day and all that. And then he calls him out at the end. But it's the stuff he says at the beginning of the promo that people need to listen to that we will get to when we get to on this show. But anyway, May 13th, 2004. We are finally here. We are finally
Fine.
finishing the road to Judgment Day. This is the go home show. And then we will review the pay per view and then finally move on. But, Tro, how you doing?
I am doing just fine. Everything is just grand and the land of the Islanders and the land of the Mets,
Hmm.
making trades,
I
signing players.
well the trades that the Islanders have made. Susie was an okay pickup because for first of all, he didn't have to give up
Yeah,
much. Although, well, did they give up a? Yeah, they gave up a third,
we
but they
gave up a
got a
third, but then we got a yeah.
they
We got
got
one
a
back.
third in return. So
It,
Susie is
it's a
essentially a wash, but it's an okay pickup because we have injuries to the defense. Obviously, we're not getting Romanov back into the playoffs, which hopefully we will be there. There's obviously no guarantee just yet that we'll be there, but the way they played all year, it looks like they should. They absolutely should get into the playoffs. So Romanov ain't coming back till then. So you need somebody. So Susi will be that guy. Ryan Pulak also injured. They say that Matthew Darsh said in an interview today that Pulak should be good to go tonight. But the other trade, uh, and look, I get some of the anger out of this trade because he is a veteran. He is getting older. But Andre
I mean,
Palat, one of the underrated pieces of that Lightning championship
I'd
team.
rather not think of that Lightning. Thank you.
Well, the fact that they beat us has nothing to do
You know,
with
you
whether he
know.
was a big part of it. Now that he's with us, if he can help us win, then that's fine. This guy has championship
Remember,
experience, playoff experience,
remember,
excuse me.
remember the joke that Lou would always trade or sign former Devils. Well, Darsh is just trying to rebuild the 2020 Tampa team. We're gonna trade for Brandon Point next. Brandon Point, whatever the fuck his name. We're gonna
Um,
sign Magoo or whatever, Maroon. Maroon. We're gonna trade
uh,
for Steven Stamkos.
and the fact that we get a third while also acquiring him is pretty
Yeah,
cool. But
we didn't even lose anyone
but
worth anything.
we yes we did, though, and that's the
Who?
reason we're getting a third in return. Max Siplikov, who is still very young and
Oh,
has
I've never
shown
heard of him.
potential. Yes, you have. You know who he is. He has potential to be a solid hockey player, especially on that. I hate that we're sending him to the Devils
he
because now he's in the
he fell
division
fading to
now.
obscurity.
He's not going to fade off into obscurity. I'll tell you that. He's going to fit perfectly with all the talent that the Devils have. Um, so yeah, not happy we had to deal Siplikov, but
Oh no.
Siplikov, they had not been playing him defensive wise. His game was a big issue, and that's why they're trading him away. But that doesn't mean that
But,
he could have developed
well,
defensively.
you know
Same
what
thing with
Darsh
no
said?
what.
Darsh was like, "Yeah, I wanted to reward these guys because they're playing very well and that we're in kind of in a playoff position." I'm like, "Oh, so if we weren't playing well, you would have just sold this fucking. You would have just sold the farm here, now wouldn't you, Darsh?
Sold the farm. If they weren't
You would
playing
have.
well, he would have sold the current to some of the current
Well, I'm
players.
saying sell the farm, like sell everybody worth a damn.
Hmm.
Like Anders Lee gone, Pajot gone. Pajot could still be gone.
And
Um,
if they weren't playing well, that would have been the right move because you're trying to get younger. You already got some great young talent like Schaefer and
Schaefer and Schaefer.
no
We're just
no
gonna
no
we're just gonna
no
clone him.
Schaefer is not the only guy. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. The guy we acquired
Cal
from the
Ritchie.
Avalanche. Yeah, Cal Ritchie. Schaefer and Ritchie. You still got
Did you know?
Romanov.
Did you know he's
Still
gonna score the first Michigan goal? I have
uh,
predicted. I have predicted that. It is all me.
no, you did not predict that.
That is my
I said that and you ran with it to make it
no. That
sound
is my
like you
prediction.
said
That
it.
is my prediction. He will score the first Michigan goal.
But yeah, whatever. Yeah, you got them. You got Max Shabanoff. There's plenty
Uh,
of young talent. Again, Romanov is still fairly young.
maybe
There's
Anthony
still
Duclair can continue keep up this this
yeah,
tear that
yeah.
he's been on.
Yeah, one bad season doesn't mean your career's over. Who would
I
have
mean,
thunk it? Who would have
to be
thunk
fair,
it?
he's almost to be fair. This has really just been a very good month for him. He probably returned back to normal in March.
A very good month. That's what makes a good season for a lot of people. That a lot of people don't
Yeah,
realize
but
that
one good
a
month.
couple of good months make a good season. You slump. Everybody slumps. Everybody has slumps. And Duclair's probably definitely going to cool
Yeah,
off. But with the year he's had a solid year. And
he's been very fine
everybody
this month.
everybody wrote him off last year just because he had one
Well,
bad
to be
year. There ain't no, to be fair. Just because you have one bad year doesn't mean your career's over.
well, no, I'm trying to kind of defend him a little bit, but not defend him at the same time because he did kind of have a he had enough of an attitude for a while to be like,
He had
okay,
a
this guy doesn't
very
care.
bad year. Yeah, he had a very bad year,
But
but
he
that
was
didn't
also
mean
at some point hurt. I don't think he
right.
ever
He was
really
also,
fully
yeah,
recovered.
yeah.
So it's
That's
kind of the
true.
catch-22 of who's the real Anthony Duclair? Are we seeing the real Duclair now, or are we just seeing, or was last year the omission? Because he's not a top player. I just think he's kind of really
I
having
don't
a
think
good time right now.
he was. Nobody ever said he was a top player though. He's definitely not a 50 goal scorer or anything like that.
I miss
He's
Brock
a
Nelson.
decent. Yeah, Brock's killing it for Carol. For I'm glad he's not over there. I mean, for Colorado, and I'm happy for him. I'm very happy for him.
Don't worry, Carolina. We're coming for you this time. We're gonna this time we won't leave losing 6 or 7 games.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about the Islanders. We're here to talk about the May 2004 SmackDown. Before we go way off into talking about the Islanders, we got to get into this show. We're already 11 minutes in. So the show opens with a recap of everything you saw last week involving JBL and Eddie Guerrero, with the heart attack for Eddie's mom, JBL talking about it, and Eddie going around hitting everybody in the head with steel chairs. I think it was Bubba Dudley, RVD, Devon Dudley, and the ref. It may not have been Devon. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Devon was involved in that too. So Eddie just goes around hitting everybody in the head with chairs, and JBL essentially blaming Eddie's mom in a backstage promo he had later in the show. So they show all that to essentially recap all that. Now the show kicks off, and let me say, uh, a couple of weeks ago, and that's obviously show wise here. Not a couple of weeks ago, we were not talking about this Judgment Day 04 Road to, but a couple of weeks ago, they did something where Eddie Guerrero would face the Dudley. And the way they did it was pretty good, where it's like you're not 100% sure who it's going to be, and then they finally reveal which Dudley it is. They overdid it here in the opening match. We opened the show with a match which again, I'm never really a fan of. I believe we should open shows with promos, especially with the main event storyline we got going on here. But what are you going to do? They open the show with RVD versus the Dudley. So Bubba Ray Dudley comes out. His head is bandaged from the chair shot that he received from Eddie Guerrero, as we just mentioned a moment ago. And it's like, you can kind of see this coming a mile away. Obviously, the Dudley in this situation is
The
Devon.
Dudley.
Bubba Ray's bandaged up first of all, which I mean, wrestlers wrestle matches bandaged up, but that
It
to
should
me
have been
that
the
was
boss.
that yeah. Was he? I don't think he's not the boss yet though. That's summertime. We're still in spring here. But so Bubba Ray's bandaged up. He's walking to the ring. RVD's looking at him. He's walking. Bubba is walking around the ring. RVD's keeping an eye on him. It's like we see what's happening here. We see this coming a mile away. It's obvious he's obviously not facing Bubba Ray. They did when they first did this with Eddie Guerrero, where they had Paul Heyman, I think, said tonight Eddie Guerrero's going to face the Dudley. And you had to think all night, well, is he facing Bubba? Is he facing Devon? And then they revealed who it was. That was fine. They went overboard with the whole the Dudley thing here, where Bubba's walking to the ring and walking around the ring. And you obviously know that at some point Devon's going to come from behind and attack RVD, and that's going to be the match. And that is exactly what happened. So that leads to your opening match, Devon Dudley versus Rob Van Dam. For the match itself, a fun match to start the show. Although still, I say it could have been just as fun if it was the second segment right after an opening promo. But what are you going to do? Devon wins this match with a hanging DDT. And by hanging DDT, that essentially means RVD was on top rope, probably looking to hit a 5-star. And Bubba Ray jumped on the apron, kind of distracted RVD. Devon comes over. RVD still on top rope. Devon grabs him. Boom, hanging DDT. And that's how Devon wins the match. I thought it was a fun match. The crowd was the crowd was into it. They were behind RVD all the way. All right, so I personally give it 3.5 stars. Your thoughts on the whole Dudley thing, and then the match itself?
I thought it was fine. They could have had Bubba do it, but I guess they decided, hey, let's have Devon take on RVD, and Devon's not the bet is was probably the better one in ring of the Dudleys. So it made for a decent enough match. Do they fight? They have a match at Judgment Day.
Yes, this is why this match is happening, and I'm gonna get to
But
we're gonna kind of get to that in a minute, because here's the post match here. For the post match, the Dudleys are about to double team RVD when Rey Mysterio, who will be in the main event for tonight's show, Rey Mysterio comes in, makes the save, chases the Dudleys off, and that is the match. I believe it's the opening match for our next review,
that
Judgment
sounds
Day
about right.
2000. Yeah, 2004. Dudley's versus RVD and Rey Mysterio. I believe that's not for the tag titles. It's just a regular
No.
tag match. I forgot Rico and Haas are the tag champs, and we will see them later. Hey, you laugh at that? You laugh at that? They were an entertaining tag team. They were a
I
very
know, but
entertaining tag.
I just remember they had the tag title.
Yeah.
Ray and RVD are kind of thrown together tag team
Yeah.
because but I guess they really wanted RVD to do tag team stuff because he was just coming off a tag team with Booker T. He had a
Yes.
tag team with Kane. I mean, let the man let the man do his single stuff. But
Of
do
all
you
three, of all three of those RVD tag teams, the team with Kane was very entertaining. But
yes?
teaming him with
Do you remember
Mysterio
the
makes
420 leg drop?
the 420 leg shit. I remember that tag team so well. I should know. How does the 420 leg drop go?
I think it was they put him over the guardrail, and then they both did spinning kicks from the apron to
Kane?
the guardrail. No, I'm saying RVD and Mysterio.
Oh, and Mysterio. Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense.
But
That makes a
you know how
lot more sense.
420 blaze it. But you know how they got that past Vince McMahon. Apparently RVD told Vince, no, it's called 420 because it's our two legs which make four and our
Huh?
combined shoe size is 20. Because Vince originally asked is that a drug reference? He's like, no.
That's
Uh,
hilarious.
Poor
Um,
Vince.
what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the RVD and Mysterio tag team made sense because they were both beloved baby face characters. They're very popular,
Yeah.
and they were both high flyers, so it made sense to make them a tag team. Although not a lot of memorable stuff out of that tag team. Not saying they were a
They
bad tag team, just saying not much
they do
memorable.
go into at least No Mercy. I know that they're I think the tag champions by No Mercy.
Hmm. Yeah, I think so. I saw No Mercy on pay per view that the night of the pay per view. That was actually the third pay per view I ever saw, and now I own a blank tape with the Sunday Night Heat pre show of that No Mercy I recently got, which is pretty cool. Now we have Eddie Guerrero backstage and Kurt Angle, who again remember is still in the wheelchair at this point. He rolls over in his wheelchair with Luther Reigns by his side, and he tells Eddie that what he did last week, and again, we've gone over that, all those chair shots to everybody. He says what Eddie did last week was unprovoked, and Kurt says he's not going to stand for this. He says Eddie has become a loose cannon, which is code for. Oh shit! I was gonna make a joke about Brian Pillman interfering at Judgment Day. Forgot. No, he passed away in
Oh,
'97.
that would be a little.
Yeah,
That would be a little hard for him to do. I think.
yeah. I'm like, wait a
May-
minute. Nope. He passed away in
Maybe the
'97.
power of the urn.
Maybe.
That's
Who
the
knows?
that's the real swerve.
Yeah. He says that Eddie has become a loose cannon, and Kurt Angle, obviously, as a GM of SmackDown, cannot have this on his show. Kurt Angle
Nope.
says if Eddie does anything wrong tonight, that if Angle does anything wrong to if Eddie does anything wrong tonight, excuse me, that there's going to be some serious and severe consequences. To which Eddie Guerrero this whole time is just sitting there. This is in the locker room. Eddie is just sitting there, minding he's not caring. He is pissed off and wants to get his hands on JBL. Eddie just gets up after all this, walks away, to which Kurt Angle's like, hey, where you going? I'm not done with you. He tells Eddie to sit down, but Eddie just walks off, and that just leaves Kurt Angle pissed off. And thoughts on that?
It's nice to see a more serious,
Yeah.
intense Eddie Guerrero, who is just
Eddie was
so pissed.
Eddie was 100% serious on this episode, and it made for
Yes.
he's essentially the MVP of this show. I would definitely
Yes.
say that.
Because here's the thing about Eddie: he can be funny, he can be loose, he can be this and that, but when he needs to be serious, he's able to turn that on so well.
Absolutely. Which that's what made Eddie so great. He not only could be this funny baby face, lie, cheat, and steal, but like you said, whenever he's put in a serious storyline, he can get that seriousness out of him. And obviously, when you tell somebody, "Oh, your mom had a heart attack," we need you to channel that and get frustrated about it. Should be pretty easy. I mean, we all love our mothers here. But still, Eddie Guerrero just shows how great he was. And again, he was the absolute MVP of this episode. That's something that I've been coming up with, like who the MVP of the episode is. I remember a while back I picked Tori as like the MVP of the episode. The one where Big Show got chokeslammed, the one where Big Show chokeslammed Angle off the ledge. She was the MVP of
over
that episode.
pizza and stock face.
So yeah, that's my MVP of this episode, and that is something I'm going to try to continue to do for weekly shows, at least not for pay-per-views, but for weekly shows, to pick an MVP of the show. And if you want to do that at some point, you can too. Eddie Guerrero, again, he made this segment here with just showing that frustration, and I was just, not giving a shit what Kurt Angle says to him. And
that's
now
something.
Go ahead.
Being able to turn, whenever a serious character is able to turn serious, whenever a funny character is able to turn serious, I love to see it, because as much as I love their comedy, I want to see like this other side of them. Like, I don't want to be like I don't want to be anti John Cena, but at the same time, he was never able to fully turn on that serious mode, because he just start to talk low and Randy Orton, you punted my father. You can tell I'm angry because now I'm just talking low and I don't have any emotion. But when Eddie's pissed, you can believe his mother just had a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
It's something you don't get to see as much as you probably should, even today.
Now, Now we get to we have a couple of vignettes on this show for debuting, soon to be debuting wrestlers, and we get one right here with a Kenzo Suzuki
Oh
vignette,
my god.
and we cut from that to Michael Cole.
Uh,
Michael Cole is in the ring and he is announcing, or he is calling out the brand new cruiserweight champion Jacqueline as he introduces her to the crowd. Cole tells Jacqueline, obviously she comes out, comes into the ring. Michael Cole congratulates Jacqueline on her victory over Chavo Guerrero Jr. And they replay the clip of the title match where Jacqueline gets the victory. And then Cole asks Jacqueline for her thoughts now that she has had a week to let her victory set in. And Jacqueline says that she is proud to be the first woman to hold the cruiserweight title. And then to the camera, she tells Chavo, or well, she essentially tells the fans first. She says, "I want you all to remind Chavo that," and she looks into the camera and says, "You lost to a girl."
uh,
And that leads to Chavo and Chavo Classic coming out. Chavo, and this is just a heel being a great heel, Mr. Lie, Cheat, and Steal himself, at least not, even though he's no longer Los Guerreros, calls Jacqueline a thief. He
ooh,
says having the title stolen from him was the worst day of his career, if not worst day of his life. He says it's the biggest ripoff in WWE history. Chavo says there's no way that Jacqueline can beat him without cheating. He then says he went to Kurt Angle earlier in the day and he got a rematch against Jacqueline at Judgment Day. And Chavo says he is so confident that he can win this that he will have one arm tied behind his back. And then just more great heel work, this time from Chavo Classic, who says Chavo is bringing some justice back to the family by getting his title back at Judgment Day, but he also says he wants redemption tonight. And he says he wants to face Jacqueline right now.
yeah,
And that's what we get to Chavo Classic versus Jacqueline. But before that, I thought this was an okay segment for what it was. You know, having Jacqueline make fun of Chavo and having Chavo announce that he's getting his rematch, and then being the heel that he is, oh, I can beat you with one arm tied behind my back, and then Chavo Classic just being a heel as well, talking about, well, you're bringing justice back to the family, as if you know, the guy, there's a guy holding the WWE title right now who's a part of this family. He ain't bringing justice to,
yeah.
you know. Go ahead. What were you gonna
You
say?
know, you know, not for nothing. Chavo Classic seems awfully okay with the fact that his mother just had a heart attack.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem too pissed off that his
he
mother got the freaking finger touch of doom from JBL. He's
he
too
did
occupied with,
he
with
did bring it up last week. He brought it up in last week's episode, if you remember, as like
mm,
a quick little reminder. But that was about it. He doesn't really care too much about about his mom having a heart
yeah,
attack.
his mother has a freaking heart attack. He's like, yeah, but about that cruiserweight title.
So yeah, great little segment there. Again, I always love Chavo and Chavo Classic. As great as Chavo Jr. is by himself, once they added Chavo Classic, like that was tremendous. They were great together. But now we get to the match itself. Chavo Classic versus Jacqueline. And Classic ends up winning this, obviously, by interference from Chavo Guerrero Jr. So the show kicks off with back-to-back heel interference victories. Pretty surprising there. I give this match 2.5. I thought it was okay. The Chavo Jacqueline match was more. That was much more entertaining
Yeah.
last week. But your thoughts on Jacqueline versus Chavo Classic?
Just a quick little match to get some heat on the on
Yes.
Chavo and Chavo Classic. Just
Heading into
give them the little bit of the rub back, just to be like, oh yeah, don't forget these guys are kind of dangerous.
yep. Oh, so now we get a recap. Oh no, first we have Kurt Angle in his office. Again, he's with Luther Reigns. Obviously, anytime we see Kurt Angle at this during this time period, Luther Reigns is right there with him. Kurt Angle says he cannot believe that Eddie Guerrero disrespected him, and he tells Luther, either you go get Eddie Guerrero or you bring
I'll be
him
right back.
me. Yeah, go ahead. He says, you go get Eddie Guerrero or you bring him to me. So Luther goes to get Eddie Guerrero, and then Kurt Angle says he knows what Eddie Guerrero is up to, and Angle says, excuse me, is not going to get away with it. I will give my thoughts on this when Tro comes back. But after that, we get a recap of Booker T's week last week, where he's looking for dirt from a graveyard because Mama Sangre told him that this is what he needs to defeat Undertaker at Judgment Day. So they show the recap of him talking to Mama Sangre, and then they cut to him at the graveyard getting the dirt and then being scared off because he hears a sound. He's like, I'm getting out of here. And that's when you see Undertaker's hand come out from the graveyard. And now we cut right back to Kurt Angle. So Luther went to go find Eddie Guerrero, but yet somehow just seconds later, Luther Reigns is wheeling Kurt Angle to Eddie Guerrero. I don't understand how that can happen so quickly. Did Luther Reigns just go outside the GM door and be like, "Oh, he's not at the door. I'll just come back and." It's crazy how that happened because there's no way that Luther Reigns could go look for Eddie, decide that he can't find him in that quick of time, and all of a sudden come back and get Kurt Angle. But that's apparently what happened. Just 2 seconds later, Kurt Angle is being wheeled backstage by Luther Reigns. He says, "Oh, there's Eddie right there. Stop." He sees Eddie, and he has Luther wheel him right up to Eddie Guerrero, and he tells Eddie that if you interfere in JBL's match tonight, which, by the way, like I said, Rey Mysterio in the main event for tonight's show, and that is his opponent, Rey Mysterio. So he says, if you interfere in JBL's match tonight, then I being Kurt Angle, will strip you of the WWE title and immediately give it to JBL. Angle then says that the incident, Eddie Guerrero's mother having a heart attack, wasn't exactly JBL's fault. Oh boy. Eddie Guerrero is as angry as can be at this moment, and Kurt Angle is just making it worse. He says the incident wasn't really JBL's fault. He says, look, your mother is 76 years old. She has to have a history of heart disease. That's when Eddie Guerrero leans down at Kurt Angle, who again is in a wheelchair. He grabs onto the wheelchair and goes, heart disease, heart disease. So Angle's like, oh, I didn't mean anything by it. And he tells Luther, let's get away from this situation. They wheel Luther Reigns away from, Luther Reigns wheels Kurt Angle away from Eddie Guerrero. And that is the end of that. Again, more great just passion from Eddie Guerrero over this situation. Next up, again, we'll give all thoughts on this when Tro comes back. Next up, we have Michael Cole. So Michael Cole and Taz are essentially talking about everything we just seen between Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero. And as they're talking, all of a sudden a voice comes over you can just start hearing a voice, and the voice turns out to be JBL, who is talking to Michael Cole and Taz via phone. And essentially, what JBL says is tonight he's going to dismantle Rey Mysterio, and then send and in doing that, he will be sending a preview to Eddie Guerrero on what's going to happen to him at Judgment Day. Now, Kurt Angle doesn't want Eddie Guerrero anywhere near JBL. He doesn't want them to explode on each other tonight. But yet, JBL feels differently. He says you're going to see something big tonight. I guess essentially referring to Eddie Guerrero. He says Judgment Day is going to come early tonight. So there you go. JBL wants to see Eddie Guerrero. Obviously, Eddie Guerrero wants to get his hands on JBL. Kurt Angle's trying everything in his power to make sure that this doesn't happen. Well, his buddy JBL ain't on his side for that one. Now we have a handicap tag match. Johnny the Bull Samboli and Nunzio of the FBI taking on Booker T. If you remember the prior SmackDown to this would be the last show we've reviewed, which was way back in July. But I mean, if you've seen the actual episode, you may remember that Johnny the Bull Samboli and Nunzio face Undertaker in a handicap match. And obviously, Booker T is facing Undertaker at Judgment Day. So essentially, this is Booker T essentially saying anything Undertaker can do, I can do better. Except the FBI is bandaged up. They were still reeling from a week ago being dismantled by the Undertaker. So essentially, Booker T handles the FBI, but he's handling a maybe 50% FBI, maybe less than that after what Undertaker did to him. But again, good heel work here. You beat the hell out of the guys that Undertaker beat the hell out of last week, so they're already beat down, but you make that out to be like, look, I'm on Undertaker's level. And again, so Booker T wins this. So that's essentially what he says at the end of the match here. He says, I just proved I'm just as powerful as The Undertaker. As he says that, though, The Undertaker's gun goes off. And I'm sure anybody who is a wrestling fan during the Ruthless Aggression era remembers the SmackDown fist, that whole setup stage where there's essentially three Trons. There's the two up top, right in the middle of the fist, and then there's the one on the bottom, right where the wrestlers come out of. There's a Tron around that area. Well, after the gong goes off, Undertaker shows up on one of the Trons up above, and then he shows up on the other one that's right next to it, and then he shows up on the bottom.
Oh yes, just in time.
Yeah, perfect timing there. So let me just run down everything that
Oh,
you
sorry.
miss. It's not much. You didn't miss much, but we've gone through a couple backstage segments in this handicap match. So first, Kurt Angle in Eddie Guerrero's office. He says Eddie disrespecting him. Tells Luther to go get Eddie, and he says he knows what Eddie's up to, and says that Eddie is not going to get away with it. And then we recap last week. Booker T looking for dirt from a graveyard. Mama Sangre tells him to go
He
get the
wasn't.
dirt. Yeah.
He was number one.
And then we have Kurt Angle backstage, which is hilarious. This is hilarious to me. You weren't here for this, but so this is the thing. What he tells Luther Reigns in that prior segment was either you go get Eddie Guerrero or you take Eddie Guerrero to me. So while Luther Reigns goes and leaves to go look for Eddie Guerrero, that segment ends right then and there. They show the recap, which is only about a couple seconds, and then all of a sudden, when they come back from, and maybe there was a commercial break. I don't know. Maybe that's how, because I may be wrong about that. There might have been a commercial break, but the way this looks on Peacock is, uh, so he tells Luther go find Eddie, and if you can't find him, you bring him to me. And Luther walks out right away. They show the recap, which is like 2 seconds, and then all of a sudden, right after that, somehow Luther Reigns has Kurt Angle with him. Again, Luther left the room to go look for Eddie. He did not bring Kurt Angle with him. But now all of a sudden, like 2 seconds later, all of a sudden Kurt Angle's with him. Kind of funny. But anyway, Kurt Angle sees Eddie Guerrero and tells Eddie that if Eddie interferes in JBL's match against Rey Mysterio tonight, Angle will strip Eddie of the title, give it to JBL, and he says, and then Angle puts his foot in his mouth by saying the incident wasn't JBL's fault necessarily, saying that Eddie's mom is 76 years old. She might have a history. She has to, at that age, have a history of heart disease. Eddie gets pissed off, grabs the wheelchair, and is yelling like heart disease, and Angle then is like, didn't mean anything by it, tells Luther wheel him on out of there. And after he does, I didn't mention this before, but after he does, Eddie under his breath is like heart disease. Like Eddie was absolutely pissed off here, and again he's the MVP of this show. Then we have Michael Cole and Taz essentially talking about that, of everything we just seen there, and then that's where you start hearing JBL's voice from a phone talking to Mike Cole and Taz, saying he's going to dismantle Rey Mysterio tonight, and by doing that, he is sending a preview to Eddie Guerrero on what's going to happen to him at Judgment Day, and he says that you're going to see something big tonight. Judgment Day could come early, so Kurt Angle is trying to keep Eddie Guerrero and JBL separate, and JBL's like, I don't give a damn. Judgment Day's coming early tonight.
I'm going to give him heart disease.
So thoughts on all that, the stuff with Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, the recap of Booker T, and JBL on that phone call. Your thoughts on all that?
You know, surely Eddie Guerrero couldn't have it that hard to find. I mean, how big is the locker?
I don't understand how all of a sudden, like 2 seconds later, Luther couldn't leave the room by himself, but then 2 seconds later he's with Kurt Angle. I don't know how that happens.
There has to be something that you know how how they don't edit out anything unless it's like super bad.
Yeah.
Oh no! I wonder what Luther found. We need to find the unedited version to find out what happened in between.
I don't know. So what else happened there? Thoughts on that's about it, right? That's about all you need to say about it. Okay, so FBI Booker T again. FBI took on Undertaker in a handicap match the week prior. Undertaker beat the ever-living hell out of him. FBI being being Nunzio and Johnny the Bull. They are bandaged up from the beatdown they received from Undertaker last week. But essentially, Booker T is like, anything Undertaker can do, I can do better. Even though FBI is essentially 50% compared to being 100% last week. So Booker T wins this match easily, and then says after the match, he proved he's just as powerful as Undertaker is, to which Undertaker's gong goes off. And Undertaker shows up on his face, does show up on the Tron 3 different times on essentially all 3 of the Trons that they have, the 2 up top and the 1 in the entranceway. And this is obviously scaring the hell out of Booker T, who is at this point, since Undertaker's gong went off, Booker T jumped out of the ring, tried to run away, and that's when Undertaker's face started showing up on the Tron that stopped Booker T in his tracks. So Booker T is standing on the stage at this point, and that is when Undertaker's music plays, and Paul Bearer with the urn comes out.
Oh, yes. Hello, Booker T.
And then the next thing you know, Undertaker just magically appears in the ring and stares down Booker T as Booker T looks on in fear from the stage. I think this is a great way to end the build-up to Undertaker and Booker T.
his two options: either run towards Paul Bearer or
Yeah,
run towards the Undertaker.
yeah,
Come on, Booker. We can watch Buffet together. I heard there's gonna be a revival soon.
yeah. So, so yeah, I think this is a good way to end the build up to that match, which will
The
happen
three
in
week, the 3 week build.
yeah.
Half of it is just Booker T hating on SmackDown.
So the match itself, obviously, the handicap match was nothing. I give that 1 star. But the
Well,
after
what did you give the Undertaker and FBI last time? Because remember, Booker
probably
T said he can do whatever Undertaker does better.
probably the same thing because
So
it
there.
was another it was they were both just handicap squash matches like
You proved you proved Booker T wrong.
so now we have Eddie Guerrero in the ring, and this is the promo that I was talking about. Eddie cuts a promo about how holding this belt, he represents the fans and he represents America. He says that JBL, and here we go. JBL has the wrong views on what America is, and in Eddie's eyes, America is the melting pot. Thank you, Eddie. He says that JBL thinks America is founded, off his blue-blooded ancestors, and he's got that. He being JBL has that all wrong. He says he's going to kick the living, you know what, out of JBL at Judgment Day, and then he calls JBL out to get revenge. Again, both Eddie Guerrero and JBL do not want to wait for Judgment Day, but we're about to find out there is a very good reason why JBL doesn't want to wait till Judgment Day. He has a plan. That damn JBL has a plan. So he calls JBL out, Eddie Guerrero does, to get revenge on JBL putting his hands on Eddie Guerrero's mother, as we saw on last week's SmackDown. He looks into the camera and tells his wife Vicky to turn the TV off because he doesn't want his kids, that being Dominic and Sal and all of
all of
his.
his, all of his kids. Where the fuck was he gets a phone call later from his kids like, yeah, I saw what you did on TV. He's like, where the fuck was Vicky?
No,
Told you to
what
turn
he
off
said.
the TV.
What he says is he tells Vicky to turn the TV off, and then he tells he tells Rey Mysterio's wife to turn TV off. He's like, I don't want any of my kids to see what's going.
UPN comes out. Hey now, players, can you please not turn off the TV? We need the rating.
Yeah.
Please do not turn off the TV. This guy, this funny Mexican guy he's just joking.
Yeah, at this point, UPN, which I love UPN, very brings back a lot of nostalgia, especially watching SmackDown back then. But UPN was definitely in a lot of trouble in terms of trying to keep that channel afloat. And that's why it sadly is no longer with us, and it wasn't with us just 2 short years later after this show aired. But Eddie Guerrero tells Vicky to turn the TV off because he doesn't want to see his kids, or he doesn't want his kids to see the sight of him in the next few minutes. Essentially,
You,
the sight of him, what he's going to do to JBL.
not not to
That is,
spoil
yeah. Go ahead.
not to spoil what happens at Judgment Day, but I kind of hope his kids weren't watching pay-per-view. He's like, okay, kiddos, I know I told you to not watch SmackDown, but tonight, oh, watch full screen.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the Judgment Day pay per view real soon.
Yeah.
But for those who maybe somehow have been under a rock for 20 plus years and don't know what happened in the Eddie Guerrero JBL match, here's a little hint of what went down. They were literally handing fans in front row towels to wipe down the guardrails.
Yes.
That's a hint on how crazy the JBL Eddie Guerrero match is.
Yeah, you would have thought that the Mankind Rock match was traumatizing for kids. Oof.
Mm.
This match,
Yeah.
Judgment Day.
So that is when JBL comes out, or at least his limo comes out. Eddie Guerrero runs up to the limo, waiting for JBL to come out. JBL's not coming out. So that's when Eddie looks into the window, is essentially like, come on out. He's trying to open the door. It's not budging. So then Eddie finds a pipe and he takes a pipe to the window. And then once the window breaks, you see Eddie kind of look in like, oh. And that's when I realized, like, JBL's not in there.
He
So
just broke a good limbo for no reason.
yeah, he opens the door. Eddie's not in. JBL's not in there, but that is when a bunch of police officers come out. JBL does not come out yet, but you can hear his voice, and he orders the cops to arrest Eddie Guerrero for vandalism. Uh,
He's kind of
yeah, but
Eddie
pretty.
Guerrero attacked, destroyed the limousine for no reason.
Yeah, yeah. So I went with the cover, the photo cover, the thumbnail for this episode, the same exact thumbnail that is on Peacock, which is Eddie Guerrero cuffed up. The cops are all around him. I don't like choosing the same thumbnail that you would see on Peacock or Netflix, whatever you have it, whatever it may be. But I literally could not find a better thumbnail for this episode. I don't know
You could
why.
have done Paul Bearer, just
Yeah, I couldn't
the
find
star of
any.
the star of the show.
I always look for. Normally, I look for involving the main event guys because I want the main story to be
No
in the
Chavo
thumbnail.
Classics thumbnails, unfortunately.
No Chavo Classic thumbnails. Maybe for Royal Rumble '04 Smackdowns because obviously Eddie and Chavo that was much bigger storyline than Brock
Yeah,
Lesnar and Hardcore Holly. Let's be honest. Although the main story was really Benoit and going to the Royal
yeah.
Rumble, but obviously there's a rule on that I said that Chris Benoit will never be in the thumbnail of any of our videos, any of
Clickbait,
our
clickbait.
reviews. Yeah. But so I went with the same thumbnail for Peacock. If you see me do that, that is literally because I couldn't find a better one.
Now you have to
Because
be very careful with what you pick for a thumbnail for Judgment Day because it could get us demonetized.
I know I will. If I can maybe find a picture of like Eddie and JBL like right before the match begins,
Yeah,
that's what I'll go with. I'm not gonna put blood in the thumbnail. You don't
get
have
us.
to worry about that.
I'd be like, man, I can't believe Judgment Day didn't get any views. Like, I wonder why.
Yeah, I won't be putting blood in the thumbnail. You do not have to worry about that. But anyway, so JBL comes out. He orders the cops to arrest Eddie for aggravated assault. JBL tells the cops or excuse me, arrest him for vandalism. Excuse me. JBL walks up then to a cuffed Eddie. Kind of walks back too. He starts walking up to him essentially because he's got to pass him to go where he's going, and but he obviously, even a handcuffed Eddie Guerrero, he doesn't want to be anywhere near at this point in the state that he's in after what JBL did to his mother. So he walks by Eddie, makes sure to get a little distance from him. So he's essentially at ringside while Eddie Guerrero is still on the stage being held back by the cops. But JBL starts taunting the handcuffed Eddie Guerrero, talking about his mother and all that. And that is when Eddie Guerrero just can't take it anymore. Even with the cuffs, he runs down to ringside, goes after JBL, and obviously, with him being handcuffed, doesn't go too well for Eddie. JBL gets the better of Eddie Guerrero as the cops try to make sure that nothing happens. But then JBL orders the cops now to arrest Eddie Guerrero for aggravated
So,
assault. So vandalism and aggravated assault. Not a good night for Eddie Guerrero. He tells JBL tells the cops, make sure to let Eddie out before Judgment Day. So
that's how a
obviously,
judicial system works, everyone. Don't forget.
JBL can get the title from Eddie at
Now,
Judgment Day. And then he tells Eddie, don't forget to use your one call on your mama. Oh boy. Oh boy.
he uses it on Shovel Classic. Brother, gotta get me out of here. Okay.
So this is the segment of the night by far. Eddie Guerrero. I mean, his promo, the beginning of the promo is extremely timely for today. But even without that, even if you take that out, it's just the passion that Eddie has here for the situation involving his mom, and then just JBL getting the heat. JBL was always a great heel. In fact, the and I get that this is a weekly show, but the main event ending is going to be very surprising the way it goes down, considering this is a JBL match, and I'll get to why that is when we get to it. But JBL was always a great heel at this point, and this segment just absolutely shows it. I mean, Eddie Guerrero's mom has a heart attack. Let's get Eddie Guerrero arrested, and let's just make fun of the fact that his mother recently had a heart attack. That's great heel work from JBL.
Yes. Now here's my thing. First of all, they redid this angle again in 2005 with Cena and JBL.
A little difference, like John Cena's the hip hop guy, and JBL
Yeah,
is
but
being the right.
he still got the cops.
Yeah, it's very similar.
I'm talking about like being arrested and stuff.
Right? Yeah.
That was the go home show for WrestleMania. There you go.
Oh, there you go. The go home show to Judgment Day 04 and the go home show to WrestleMania 21 both has JBL getting people arrested.
Think about the logic behind JBL here. He has to really bank on the fact that Eddie Guerrero is gonna first of all assault him and then vandalize. Like, what if Eddie was like, "Hey, you know what? I thought about it. Maybe she did have artistic." He's like, "You know what? I'm gonna calm down. I'll be calm, cool, and collected." And he was like, "Arrest him! Arrest him!" They're like, "For what?" Shit. Then he just started kicking his ass.
Well, in today's world, when you don't do anything wrong, you get shot. So, I mean, in today's world, Eddie would have been lucky to walk out of there alive.
No comment. No comment.
But
I walk the middle line.
So now we have. Well, first off, after going. Well, actually, your thoughts on this segment?
It was a good segment.
Yeah.
Gets heat on JBL. Not
Yes.
not that he needs it anymore. But it gives the illusion like, oh, Eddie definitely won't be back out later tonight. He's totally arrested, guys. And JBL obviously has the pull in the court system to be like, okay, I want you to arrest him, but let him out before the. That's. Well,
you would think if he's arrested and he can't get out before the pay-per-view, that would mean he's stripped of the belt and the belt goes to JBL anyway. So wouldn't JBL want him to be arrested beyond?
JBL's not thinking like we're thinking, but I was talking to somebody. He's like, I said, assault charges in the world of professional wrestling. Instead of going to jail for assault, you just have a match, and it's perfectly okay. Because it was something about like Rikishi and Stone Cold. Like, why didn't Stone Cold just press? Why wasn't Rikishi charged with heel assault? And I'm like, well, you see, in professional wrestling, having a match replaces attempted manslaughter.
But
everything's okay as long as you have a match.
from Stone Cold, from the Stone Cold character, that would be a bad look on Stone Cold if he's pressing charges instead of going to the guy who tried to run him over and kicking his ass. Like,
No, no, no mercy. 2000. Instead of them having a match, it's just court segments. Yeah, This man tried to run the town, and he keeps on telling me. He keeps on saying he did it for the Rock. But
Rock,
I think it might be Triple H.
well, Rock would have to take the sand. Triple H would have to take the sand.
Yeah,
Vince
but
would probably
Rock
have
has a
to
match that night against Kurt.
Yeah, Foley would take the sand because obviously he was the investigator.
I did it for the Rock. Well, that's enough. That's enough for us. He did it for the Rock.
Scotty Too Hotty would have to take the sand because wasn't Scotty
Grandmaster Sexai.
Yeah, well, Scotty. The reason why Foley found out was because Scotty Too Hotty was like, well, the night of Survivor Series, I was chilling with Rikishi and Grandmaster, and Rikishi was not on television at that time, so that's where it's like, there you go. Rikishi's immediately a suspect. What's he doing there that night? So
He could have just denied it. He never did.
Scotty Too Hotty would have to take the sand. Linda would have to take. Obviously, all the McMahons would have to take the sand because it's their company. This attempted murder happened in their company.
Now that would have been a great way to end. No way. No mercy.
No mercy.
Yeah, we sure find him Rikishi convicted of attempted murder, but instead of having him charged, instead you're going to go one on one with Steve Austin.
Remember, they actually had Austin run over a cop car in that match because there was
he tried to kill fucking Rikishi in it.
Yeah. And in doing so, he ended up hitting a cop car. And by the way, faced no charges. He faced no charges. That's the
he challenged the cop to a match. You want to arrest your son here? You didn't accept the match. Therefore, no.
Survivor Series 2000, Austin versus the cop. He ran over it. And that's what happens to the cop. The cop is in his car, and Austin has the forklift.
He drops. But that's another example. Austin tries to kill Triple H, and Triple H is just like, yeah, you know what, that really fucking hurt, but I'm not gonna charge you.
Yeah, and he was on Raw the very next night. Like nothing.
That really hurt a lot, Austin. I don't know what all these car crash victims are complaining about. I'm perfectly okay.
So yeah. By the way, I've said that we've covered it, not you and me, but me and Christian. We've covered the Raw where the I Did It for the Rock Raw. That's one of my favorite Raws of all time. I love the whole build up to that. And yes, you can say it makes, why the hell is it Rikishi? But
I mean, it doesn't really make any sense. It should have just been Triple H from the start. Come on.
Yeah. I'm not going to disagree with that, but I do love the whole way they did that show. And Rikishi being a top guy, top heel for a short amount of time, I didn't have no problem with it. And there are some people. Here's what I do have a problem with with some of the criticisms of that storyline. If you want to say, okay, Rikishi being the guy weird, okay, that's fine. But so many people are like, Austin buried Rikishi at No Mercy. First of all, again, we're going back to the Stone Cold character. Again, like I said, Stone Cold's character would not press charges on somebody. He would go to the guy that did whatever they did to him and he beat his ass. Well, do you expect Stone Cold and Rikishi to sit there and have a 30-minute, technical wrestling match and Rikishi goes over in the end? No. The way that No Mercy 2000 match went down with Rikishi and Austin is the way that the Stone Cold character would handle a situation like that. It went perfectly. You're not just going to sit there and have a 30-minute technical wrestling match, and Rikishi goes over clean too. Like, oh, he's the next WWE champion now, as if that would make him a star. But no, that's not
But
how that goes. The way that No Mercy match went down is the way it should have went down. Stone Cold saw blood that night, and he was going to do whatever he can to get payback on Rikishi.
I do think I don't like it when blood feuds or big matches with big rivalries start off with a collar and an elbow tie up.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, you guys hate each other. Like, can you show a little bit more intensity than just
Right.
okay, I'm gonna lock up with this?
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be like
more often than
Cena
not,
or
more often than not, from what I've seen at least, I don't know if there's been anything recent, but more often than not, blood feuds that I've seen don't begin that way. And there's a very
no.
good reason for that. Yeah.
I'm saying like the big matches, like these two have hated each other for years. Collar and elbow tie up. Like, come on, like no. What are you doing? Showing you guys. So why are you cooperating with each other? This is no.
A lot of people would probably think that I'm not a big Ring of Honor guy or the early years of Ring of Honor, but I did at one point, and I can enjoy an early day Ring of Honor show. That's what I'm trying to say. And
It's kind of TNA light.
Go to about like 2010 Ring of Honor, and the biggest blood feud in Ring of Honor history. I don't know about current stuff. I have no idea. But from the Ring of Honor, the stuff that I saw, their biggest blood feud was 2010. Kevin Steen, who's obviously now known as Kevin Owens, and El Generico, who's obviously now known as
No. We don't know what happened to El Generico. He's in a Mexican orphanage helping orphans. What are you talking? I don't know why all you people think that Sami Zayn and El Generico are the same people. Sami Zayn was inspired by El Generico. They don't do the same. They don't do the same moves. What are you guys talking about?
Every big match that Kevin Steen and El Generico had in 2010 began not with collar and elbow types. It began with them punching the hell out of each other. Mm-hmm. And that would get the crowd going. Yeah, that would get the crowd going nuts too. That's why I really enjoyed that feud from Ring of Honor in 2010. But I mean, they expect Rikishi to win just because he's the guy looking to move up in the card. And the fact that Austin beat the ever living hell out of him and ran him over with the car. Oh, now you buried him. No. Stone Cold Steve Austin's character is not losing that match. He's not going to lose a match.
I don't think they were expecting him to lose, but I think they were expecting him to put up a better fight because they had built up that character up to that point to be kind of like, oh well, he could be more than just this dancing guy. He could be this dangerous guy who's running people over, and then he gets his ass kicked by Stone Cold. It's kind of like, well, they just kind of made all the build up for him to being this badass to be nothing. Not saying he should have won. I don't think anybody really expected Rikishi to win Austin's return match. I think they might have expected it to be a little bit more of a Rikishi gets more offense in an Austin and then gets his kicked.
Yeah, Rikishi can't get offense in that match. With the Austin character would not allow Rikishi to get any offense.
Well, Rikishi just has to kick him in the balls. He's often still human.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't. I don't agree with that. If that would happen, I just don't. I agree with the way the match went down. For me personally,
Rikishi did get a WWE title shot eventually.
He did.
He fell off the cell though.
Yeah. Well, that is the most memorable part of that match too, and that was a really good match. But I'm saying the match the highlight that they show from that match over and over again is Rikishi getting chokeslammed onto that bed.
It's not even chokeslam; it's slightly lightly pushed.
Yeah. So
to wood chips or whatever.
Yeah. And the reasoning as to why that was there in the first place,
Yeah.
for some people who may not have ever watched that match and have only seen the highlight. So in leading up to that match, the Mr. McMahon character did not want, and again, there was a lot of main event guys in this match. It for me, it hurt the Armageddon 2000 pay per view as a whole because you pretty much just threw all of your big guys into one match.
Yeah.
But the reasoning behind it was uh, Mr. McMahon did not want his guys to get injured in this match, so he had that truck driven down to the ringside to essentially get the door off. I think they're supposed to tie it or look like a rope to the
Yeah.
door and then tie it to the
Chain.
truck and then chain and then have the truck drive to bust open the cell door. So that's why the truck was there in the first place.
And
For those who may have seen that highlight so many times and thought, why
that
the
led
hell
to
is
the
it?
end of Commissioner Foley
Yes, it did, which is
because McMahon said if anybody gets hurt,
yeah,
you're done. And Rikishi falls from the cell.
which I like the way they did it because again, heel heat on Mr. McMahon. It was a great way to fire a beloved babyface, but the end of Commissioner Foley makes me sad because Commissioner Foley was one of the most
He regrets it.
entertaining. He regrets. I don't
No,
know why.
he regrets that it ended so soon.
Oh, well, okay, yeah, I can agree with that. I can absolutely agree with that because
But I think at some point it would have ran its course, and maybe it was kind of
maybe
starting to maybe circle the drain just a little bit. Because if we don't get rid of Commissioner Foley, then we don't get Commissioner Regal.
that's true. And
And
I personally,
Commissioner Regal was damn good.
yes, he was. He was really good. Personally, I like having heel authority figures over having babyface authority figures
But
because,
it was also nice to have a heel face authority figure after
oh yeah,
having a heel authority figure literally from when that concept started with
I
McMahon. Well,
absolutely,
I guess it started with Eric Bischoff, but
yeah.
you know what I mean.
Well, from WWE standpoint, it started with Mr.
Yeah,
McMahon. But I do agree with that. Commissioner Foley, as I've always said, is Commissioner Foley was one of the more entertaining parts of WWE in 2000, and 2000 is one of their best years, in
yeah,
my
probably their
opinion.
best, probably the best year of the
Maybe,
Attitude Era.
maybe from
Even though
my
they keep on
personal.
you know
Go
they're
ahead.
coming off the new game, right? They're coming off 22K26.
Yeah, the attitude
Yeah,
era.
the cash cow says Attitude Era. I'm like, God, fucking look. We all love the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era was great, but you know, there's other eras, guys. There's the ruthless aggression era. There's the golden era. They don't want to talk about the new gen era because the new gen era is an abject failure and almost killed the company. That's fine. But now it's even get to a point where even parts of the PG era are starting to become nostalgic for a lot of people. So
Not for me.
I'm just saying, not for you, but I'm saying we have we have other eras than just the fucking Attitude Era. And they also edited Triple H's pecs.
They edit. Oh,
So
it's really?
yes. So the image that they use for Triple H, they use him twice. Because he has of course he has his own fucking version, the King of Kings version. So in the original pick, he has the World Heavyweight Championship, which by the way is not the Attitude Era, so I don't know why the fuck he has it. It's not like when he has the he's undisputed champion where he has two belts. It's just the World Heavyweight title. So he's he's off the gas at this point. So his 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 boobs are exposed. His chest is flat as hell. So they edited in and gave him a more built up chest.
Wow. Okay.
But it's like, of course he does.
Personally, I love the new generation era, not as much as the Attitude Era, obviously, but I do love the new generation era. I
But
thought it was much better than people give it credit for. obviously WCW was kicking their ass, and that was a big reason why they almost went under. I mean, they had to adapt, and to their credit, they did. But yeah, I love the new generation. I thought
Well,
it was Saturday morning cartoons for pro wrestling. That's the way I
well,
see it.
so this is who they have on the Monday Night Wars edition
Mm.
for WWE. Now notice they if they've missed anybody for WCW. They have Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Triple H, Kurt Angle, and China. Seems normal, reasonable for the Monday Night Wars. Maybe have Shawn Michaels, but for for WCW they have Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Goldberg, Booker T, and Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, I seen this. Was that
I feel like somebody's
a
missed.
fake? Was that a fake post? That post I saw of Bret Hart saying, "Oh, I can't believe they put Goldberg in there, but
Oh,
they
that's
didn't put
joke.
him."
It's just a joke because
Yeah.
how Brett. God
Oh, I
fucking
know.
damn it! They're putting Goldberg.
Yeah, I'm aware of the whole Bret Hart being
Yeah,
so pissed off at but I don't know, I saw something that was like it's supposed to be like a post on X where like
no,
Bret was I figured it was fake, but yeah.
yeah, Brett doesn't
Yeah,
care.
Bret was missing from but Bret Hart is more WWE anyway, even though I get it he left pretty early in the
But
Monday Night Wars, but yeah,
I think the biggest issue with the cover is
okay.
that how can you have Booker T, who yes he was great in WCW, but the literal peak of him in the Monday Night Wars was when it was already circling the drain of being over in 2000 and 2001. How can you not have Sting on the cover for WCW?
Oh yeah, Sting. Oh yeah, I agree
Like,
with that.
come on. I get he's in AEW. You can't. It's like, no, but you can. You got China there. The whole thing where they didn't put China in the Hall of Fame is good. They're gonna find out that she did porn, but
Yeah.
how do you not how do you not have Sting on the cover of the Monday Night Wars when his match with Hogan was literally one of the biggest matches in that in WCW's history?
Yeah, I don't know how you could do
You
that.
have Eric Bischoff there. That kind of makes sense. You have Goldberg. That
Oh
makes
yeah,
sense.
you gotta have
Maybe,
Bishop.
but how do you have Booker T? No offense, of course, to Booker T, but for most of the Monday Night Wars, he was in Harlem Heat or a single star because he couldn't get the NWO because his fucking brother was there.
Yeah. I don't think Booker ever wanted to be in the NWO. I think he said in an interview that like they wanted him to be a part, and he would always be like, "Nah, I'm not. I don't want to be with that group." I think I was when they were doing those Monday Night War documentaries on the network. I
Yeah.
think there was one of them where like they said, I think Kevin Nash said to him like, "Oh, you'd fit perfectly in the group," and he'd be like, I like working Harlem Heat or something like
Yeah.
that." I
And
don't
then Stevie Ray said,
yeah, Stevie Ray.
fuck you. Said Stevie Ray said, oh, I'd love to go to NWO. Fuck you. Fuck you, Booker. Guess that's the last laugh there, buddy.
So getting back to the show in question, we just got off the Eddie Guerrero promo and everything that happened with JBL having Eddie arrested. Next, we have a moments ago where they just essentially go over that whole segment again, and now we go to Rico versus Hardcore Holly, and
How do you like me now?
this is your tag title match for Judgment Day. Rico and Charlie Haas taking on Hardcore Holly and Billy Gunn. I think Billy Gunn. So this is another like nothing match, just
This
building up the title match for the pay view. Hardcore Holly gets the win. Nothing, not much else to talk about. 1 star for me. Your thoughts on Rico versus Hardcore Holly?
Hardcore Holly was fighting for the WWE title in January. Now he's facing Rico in a
The
nothing match.
the only reason the only reason that Hardcore Holly was in a title match was because he legitimately injured, or no, legitimately got injured by the guy who was champ just 2 years
How do you
prior.
like me now?
So there was a built-in storyline to it. That's the only reason why. Now we have a Judgment Day match card. They go over the card and they announce that Tori Wilson versus Don Marie has just been added to the match card. When they get into the U.S. title match, they then cut to Rene Dupree, who did a Cafe Day Rene episode prior to SmackDown, and they show that where Rene is, I guess, in a coffee shop or something, and he says Americans are in denial when they boo him, and he says he showed one American, that American being John Cena, that he is not superior to Rene Dupree. And that's when they show a replay of Rene Dupree putting Cena through the announce table last week. They cut back to Rene Dupree, and he says that what he did last week is nothing compared to what he's going to do to Cena at Judgment Day. And then he says something super controversial for the time. He says he's going to treat Cena the way Americans treat those poor Iraqi prisoners. Rene Dupree's words. Again, good heel work here from Rene Dupree. What are your thoughts on that short little segment there?
They gotta make Rene Dupree look like a threat somehow. So him just beating down John Cena verbally is.
Now we have.
That's one way. It seems like a little cheap heat though to be like, oh, the Iraqi president, like, guys, come on. We already got JBL and.
Yeah, that's what I was
we
thinking.
We already got JBL doing the whole political line here. We don't need you. Here would be interesting. What does JBL think about Rene Dupree doing? I'll fucking kill him, that son of a bitch. Where is his mother? Where is Rene Dupree's mother? How dare he disrespect the USA?
That is exactly what I was thinking as I was watching that. So after that, we get the second vignette of the night, and this is a Mordecai vignette with a very notable ending here, because it ends saying coming this Sunday at Judgment Day. So Mordecai will make his debut at Judgment Day. They didn't say it here, but he will be making his debut against Scotty 2 Hotty. They didn't say that, but that is who he faces
blood feud
at Judgment Day. Next, we have John Cena versus Sakota. A decent Cena match, 2.5 stars for me, just simply because the crowd was behind Cena. Cena was big time over at this point. 04 Cena is very entertaining, and it's a big reason why he becomes the guy the very next year. So you can put him in a random SmackDown match with Sakota, and the crowd can be interested in it. Cena ends up winning, and then after the match, he hits a KO with the FU. And then throws nuts at him, because this was back then when Cena was saying choke on these nuts, and then throws a bag of
this was his gimmick back then. He threw nuts at people. It never caught on.
Yeah. So now we have your thoughts on John Cena versus Sakota.
This is probably Sakota and Akio's last, probably one of their last SmackDowns that they'd ever be on, because with Tajiri on Raw now, they don't really serve much of a purpose now. Thankfully, Akio eventually becomes Jimmy Wang Yang.
Yeah.
Everyone's boy. I don't know what happens to Akio, though.
Well, Sakota, sadly, I don't know. I don't think we ever see him once the Akio Sakota thing ends in WWE anymore. But sadly, in 2001, on September 2nd, we lost Sakota. He passed away.
2001?
Yeah, no, 2021. My bad.
I was going to say, whoa, boy. Yeah. We're getting Brian Pillman coming back, and we're watching a ghost wrestle John Cena here. Oh my!
He was only 48 years old, sadly, when he passed away. Way too
young. Wait, you'll probably sub for these two. they're saying that Kenzo Suzuki's coming in, and they're probably like, "Oh hell yeah, we're going to team up with Kenzo Suzuki. We're going to be back on the main roster," and then they just don't go.
Rene Dupree ended up being Kenzo's
Exactly. He ends up teaming up with fucking Rene Dupree and loves America.
So now we have the Raw Rebound. I believe this is the very next week after the Benoit Shawn Michaels title match, which is why this Raw Rebound starts with Shawn Michaels attacking Triple H, and as that is happening, JR is saying he's getting revenge for Triple H costing him the title last week. So that's what that is referring to. That's Bischoff comes out right away and suspends Shawn Michaels for this. Eugene beats Rob Conway, where I believe if Eugene would have lost the match, he would have had to leave Raw. That's the way, because they had Bischoff talking to Regal about that. He was like, if Eugene leaves Raw, then I can make you a full-time part of the Raw roster again. So Eugene still ends up beating Rob Conway. Orton beats Edge with help from Ric Flair. Lita jumps Trish because Trish kind of gives Lita a jump scare. It's like, oh no, Kane! And Lita turns around and Kane's nowhere to be found. So Lita beats the hell out of Trish for that. And then they show Kane saying that he gives Lita 1 week for her decision. And then Chris Jericho beats Christian in a cage match. That cage match was tremendous. I love this Raw episode. But they ended off with Bischoff announcing, they end off the Raw Rebound here with Bischoff announcing that next week there will be a 20-man over-the-top battle royal where the winner faces Chris Benoit at at Bad Blood, and that obviously was Kane who won that. So,
somebody should really review Bad Blood.
Yeah, that was not a road to. But that was our review of Bad Blood is essentially what led to the road.
Yeah,
because you remember
we started talking about what stuff Eugene did leading up to Vengeance, and I think you're like, I wanted to start reviewing those shows
because I'm sitting there like we have not reviewed any Raw leading up to Vengeance 04. We have not reviewed Vengeance. This would be the perfect thing to do, is do every episode leading up to the pay-per-view and then do the pay-per-view. That is where the Road Twos began. If you go back and watch our Bad Blood review, 2004, that's where the Road 2 series began.
That's why when we eventually get to our last Road 2 will be the Road 2 Bad Blood 04. The perfect bookend.
So now we have our main event, sponsored by PlayStation 2. Live in your world, play in ours.
PlayStation 2, best console.
Absolutely. Rey Mysterio taking on JBL. This was an okay match. In terms of like a really good match, you don't necessarily get that on this show, which is fine. It's a go home to the pay-per-view. You should be focused more on getting to the pay-per-view, building up the pay-per-view, than actually getting a really good match out of this. But this match was okay for what it was, but I would give it about 2.5 stars. Now, I was talking about the surprise ending considering it was a JBL match. JBL wins this match clean. Like, what? One of the best things about JBL as a heel is that, and I get this wasn't a title match. This wasn't I get all that. But one of the best things about JBL is like, he ain't getting out of this. He's finally going to lose the title tonight. He finds some way, heel way to win the match. He does not win matches clean. So it was very surprising to see JBL win a match clean here. I don't know why. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's smart to establish that he is a legit threat. He doesn't need to always, because at the end of the day, just because he's now JBL doesn't mean he's still not a badass like he was when he was Bradshaw. Right. Bradshaw could win matches clean. So why wouldn't JBL in theory be able to win matches clean?
Absolutely.
He's still a badass. It's not like he becomes JBL. He's like, oh no, my power to win clean. No!
No, I agree with that. I agree with that.
He also doesn't have a cabinet right now, so
Well,
who's gonna help him cheat? Chavo.
he was cheating before the cabinet. Like even like when he won the title, and this is before he won the title. It wasn't necessarily a cheat, but it was a heel way to win the title because obviously it was a no disqualification match. It's a Texas Bull Rope match. He
I mean,
wins the title.
how is that? I don't get how you can think how that's a heel way. He legitimately wins the match, though.
It's a heel way, even though he
It's as
did.
cool.
It is technically he technically did win, and but to have like Eddie wins, and then have Kurt Angle come out and
Well,
be
that's
like
just because the referee's
no,
a dumbass.
but it is still sort of a heel way.
Eddie Guerrero pushed JBL into the
Yeah,
back. JBL's back hits first. Kurt Angle's not the bad guy here. He is being a good GM by pointing out, hey, guy, no, we can boo a referee now. Was the NHL? We're gonna boo. You made the right call. Boo. But it goes again.
that's not just the NHL. NHL fans do it a lot, but any
Well, that's where it
fan,
happens the most.
yeah, it's true. Like
Can't wait to see it happen in MLB.
you'll see a penalty get called where it's clear as day a penalty. And if it's the home team who got called for the penalty, refs, you suck. Refs, you suck. Like, shut the hell up.
I mean, in the context of of Kurt Angle, they reverse the call after looking at replay. They don't do that in any other sport except for maybe the NFL. But
Well, pro wrestling's not a sport, but go ahead.
I'm saying they don't do that in
No,
any other
you're right.
thing but the NFL or the NHL. It's
Right.
more likely to happen in the NHL than in the NFL because in the NHL they make it a whole song and dance when they're announcing no goal or goal.
Yeah.
When Kurt Angle announced that Eddie Guerrero lost, people are booing him, but he's right. JBL's back, not just first.
But even after Great American Bash, so
Well, yeah, then after that,
the
easy.
SmackDown before my birthday in 2004, a week before, they had the cage match. In the cage match, Kurt Angle interferes. He interferes as El Gran Luchador, but it's obviously
That could have been anybody.
revealed. And no, because he was unmasked, and it was revealed to be Kurt Angle. He was unmasked in the moment, like right after the match.
Oh, that's
So from there on, he won most of his matches by heel ways.
well.
I think at SummerSlam,
That was
Orlando,
disqualification.
yeah, it was disqualification because Orlando Jordan got involved, right?
I think was Undertaker hit him in the face with the belt.
Oh, okay. But that was a
So
way
that's
where
Undertaker. That's Undertaker's anger getting the best of him.
that's true.
Let's
But that's
see.
another way.
He beat.
Yeah.
He beats
So-
Undertaker in Last Ride with the help of hiding right. So that's a heel.
No mercy. No mercy.
No mercy. I mean,
Last ride match.
he
I think he beat Booker T.
Booker T.
He beat Booker
He might
T.
beat Booker T clean. Then he beats everybody in Armageddon pretty clean, I think.
Man, I don't remember that Fatal Four. I remember that Fatal Four Way being really good, but Armageddon 04 is so bad that I've never rewatched it. I never rewatched it.
You don't want to see Kurt Angle versus Santa Claus. He wins the clean Royal Rumble, I think.
Did he?
Maybe the Bashams do interfere on behalf of him and attack Big Show. So maybe I guess you see that heel. But then he beats Big Show clean.
No. He chokeslammed. Big Show chokeslammed JBL.
Yeah,
it's very similar to Great American Bash, where it technically
Big Show's just a dumbass.
Technically, he wins, but it's like a heel way of making the audience believe. No, hold on. You're making the audience believe the babyface won, only to take it away from the audience and reveal that the heel.
But Big Show is a dumbass because he takes a sweet ass time. He gets to the bottom step, and the bell rings. Like, oh, I won! Even though forgetting that your feet have to touch the floor, you twat. He's like, oh, I won! And then Tony, and still, what happened? And then he Then he's got fucking WrestleMania in a diaper. He goes from facing JBL in a cage match to wrestling in a diaper the
Yeah.
following month.
So after he beats Rey Mysterio with a clothesline from heaven, he takes the mic and says he doesn't give a damn about Eddie Guerrero's mom. Again, more heel heat with Eddie Guerrero's mom here, saying that if she even makes it to Sunday, she'll have another heart attack after watching me beat Eddie Guerrero for the title. And then he said, and then just goes full heel, saying if she dies, she dies, because this isn't about her. This is about JBL's quest to win the title on Sunday. And he says Eddie made this personal. So the guy who got the other guy's mom to suffer a heart attack, and you can say, yeah, the finger touch of doom. He still walked up to her after clotheslining Eddie. There was no reason for him to even come out at that
She
point.
had a heart disease. What is
And there was
it? Could have
no
been her.
reason. There was no reason for JBL to come out and
He just
interrupt
wanted to talk to her.
this beautiful family moment. JBL
He
has
wanted
to
to.
come
He wanted to congratulate her. Congratulate her.
JBL comes out of this beautiful family moment, clothesline from heaven on Eddie Guerrero, and then walks right up to the mother. And obviously, this 76-year-old mother is going to be scared. She suffers a heart attack, but Eddie Guerrero made this personal, not JBL.
Mhm.
JBL
If
says
she dies, she dies.
JBL says Eddie made this personal, and on Sunday, he being JBL, personally guarantees victory. And that is how we go off air, finally ending the road to Judgment Day. And our next show will be Judgment Day 2004. We will review that and
JBL.
finally get rid of this road to that we've been doing for almost a year now. But thoughts on JBL versus Rey Mysterio and the
JBL's
promo? Go ahead.
JBL's like, this Sunday at Judgment Day, I will give Eddie Guerrero a heart attack. I'm like, no.
There's
So don't worry.
the show after that, which we will not be getting to, not
Yeah.
at least not yet. Eddie Guerrero kind of does suffer a heart attack.
You know, I'm just saying, 2004 JBL, he has the power of giving people heart attacks. He should have done
Well,
that. He should have done that to Ray. He would have like, I'm gonna touch you, Ray. I'm gonna give you a heart attack.
well, when you bash a guy over the head with a steel chair and he ends up bleeding out all over the ring, I don't think he should have been in a 6-man tag match just a couple days later.
Oh, he's fine. He's man. Hey, Mick Foley fell from Hell in a Cell, and he was back out that night.
He fell off Hell in a Cell twice. And he was back out there during the main
Twice.
event. Yeah, he was back
And he was back out there that night.
just 15 minutes later or so.
Look, it's 2004, Frank. We don't know that concussions exist.
Yeah.
We didn't know concussions and blood loss existed. We thought it was okay just to bang our heads against steel chairs. It wasn't until CTE that we realized that concussions are actually bad for us.
This should have been Chris Nowinski's return, where he returns as a non-wrestling figure that tells everybody to worry about concussion. Tells Eddie Guerrero it would be great for you to not go out and do this 6-man tonight.
And then JBL comes out, nerd, what are you talking about concussions? Well, listen here, you nerd. I've banged my head against steel chairs. I don't remember my fucking name, but that's okay because I can bang my head against every chair. This Mexican over here, he's fine. He can wrestle.
So, overall ratings out of 10. I give this show an 8.5 out of 10. Personally, I would have liked to see more from John Cena and Rene Dupree. I don't know why Rene Dupree was not on this show. Yes, they did the prior. They showed him in the Cafe de Rene, but to me, he should have been on the actual show. They didn't have him on the show. I feel like they could have built that up better. I mean, that's your semi-main essentially, which that's what the freaking what do you call it? Brand extension.
Mordecai.
Not a brand extension. That's what the brand extension does. The well, I guess the semi mains Booker T and Undertaker, but at least your top three matches are the U.S. title, Booker T, Undertaker, and obviously Eddie Guerrero, JBL. Uh, we're not going to have the U.S. title. Like, that's all we're going to do is just Rene Dupree pre-tape.
If we needed time to see Rico versus Hardcore Holly. we
I mean, at
couldn't
least
get
that's
Rene Dupree here.
at least that's building up a match on the show. But you could have did like a 2-second backstage thing with them. I mean, damn.
Nope, we need to see Hardcore Holly wrestle. I like him now.
Other than that, though, they did a great job with Eddie Guerrero and JBL throughout this whole night. Like I said, Eddie Guerrero's my MVP for this show. Undertaker and Booker T, what they did there was pretty good. And obviously, your match of the night. They opened the show. That was the match of the night. RVD and Devon. And after the match, they built up that tag team match that was going to happen. So I thought it was an okay show for what it was. 8.5 out of 10. Do you have an MVP for the show and ratings out of 10? Your rating?
My MVP probably would be JBL.
Okay, that's fair.
For a great heel lead, and my match of the night probably would be the main event. Only because it does help establish that JBL is still a very capable person who doesn't always need to take the easy way out to win a match.
So,
gives him that little air of threatening.
So, oh, and by the way, this was our 95th episode. We are 5 episodes away from episode 100, which will most likely be early in our next road to, because our next road to will be a Raw and SmackDown pay-per-view. So we'll be doing Raws and SmackDown. So that's going to be a long road to. Again, we're not going to reveal which road to that is, but
I'll just do a clip show.
Since it's been so long, we do have to remind everybody, Judgment Day 04 was your pick, so my pick is next, and then we will go back to you. So,
and we thought, and here I was thinking that this build wasn't gonna be too bad, just SmackDowns.
And again, it has been so long since we've picked. We gotta just mention that every time we do a pick, it will be I pick a show and you pick, or I pick a road to and you pick a road to, and then we lock it down and we don't mention what the next upcoming road twos are until we get to the last show of your road to.
I can't wait to reveal mine.
Yeah, I can't wait to reveal mine too. I've been holding on to this one for like a whole year.
WrestleMania 1.
If you remember, if any of the viewers remember what the road to was before this one, that gives you a bit of a hint on what my next choice is. Just a bit.
Insurrection. Yes.
No, it's not insurrection. It's not an insurrection.
Rebellion.
Not that either. There is no road twos for an insurrection or rebellion. There's no build up to those shows.
There might have been a build to one insurrection. I don't know. They're UK shows. All I know about those shows is that they kept on asking me and Shut Your Mouth to, do you want to work Insurrection and Rebellion?
Yeah.
No.
It's funny.
It's not like no. Like,
I've been playing Shut Your Mouth these last couple of days, and I was actually just playing right before we came on the air. I'm actually playing a Bradshaw story mode. and I am
Have
the
you given
grand.
Have you given Eddie's heart attack yet?
No, no. Uh,
Yeah.
we get the story mode only goes up to like WrestleMania 20, although it's not called
Yep.
WrestleMania 20, obviously. So you can't even give Eddie Guerrero's mom a heart attack.
Damn.
I just finished up Royal Rumble 2004, which I'm the Grand Slam champ. So I have the European title. So every time you get to like one of those European shows, they force you to go. JR
Yeah.
comes up to you and is like, "Since you're a European champ, you have to come with us."
I always picture whenever I tell JBL, I tell JR no when I'm have a championship. He's like, "Oh, you don't want to work? Our WWF champion doesn't want to work the UK." Oh, okay, I guess I'll just go fuck myself. I guess I'll just go fuck myself and tell them that you don't want to work the show.
I wonder what happens when you play Devon in a shut your mouth story mode, and
Oh my brother!
JR walks up to you and asks you if you
Oh
want to be on
no!
the European
Oh
show,
no!
and you decline. What would JR's response to that be?
Oh, don't worry. Well, see, we're okay with JB. We're okay with JR because JR is okay.
You
We're not gonna erase him from history. He's okay.
so,
See,
uh,
Devon's just lying because we like JR. So therefore, we're not gonna believe what the black man says about racism.
so either Sunday or Monday, we will get to Judgment Day. We will finally end this road to, and we will announce our.
Probably Sunday because I think
All right.
Do the Islanders play Monday?
I don't know, and
Maybe they play Tuesday.
I can't check right now because I would spoil myself on the score of tonight's.
No, I'm trying to remember because I have like one game and 2 games in February for the whole month.
Yeah, Sunday's fine. We can do Sunday.
Well, it's not like there's any NFL games.
Well, there's no more Bear games. That's the important part. The
Yeah, you
Bears.
guys are last in attendance. I can't believe that. You guys suck.
We did a hell of a lot
But,
better than you guys
let,
did this year.
I can't hear you over John
We
Harbaugh
actually.
as our head coach.
Oh yeah, well Ben Johnson's our head coach, so you know.
Who? How many Super Bowls? How many Super Bowls?
He's been a head coach for 1 year, so you know.
How many Super Bowls has he won? That's what I thought.
Ask
You know,
me again next year.
speaking of the NFL, you know what? It's a fucking joke. The Hall of Fame's a joke. It's
Yeah, I saw that today.
completely irrelevant now.
Eli Manning, you had to have
Well,
known
you know,
that Eli was not going to be
well, no,
first.
second ballot, by the way.
Oh, it's his
But
second ballot.
it's not even the fact that Eli didn't get in, which is total bullshit. It's the fact that fucking Bill Belichick, who has been to 11
Yeah,
Super
yeah,
Bowls,
yeah.
is not a first ballot because he didn't talk to the media. He cheated. No, you know what he did? He's the only motherfucker who got caught cheating. You know how many other teams did the same exact thing?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
Belichick.
Tiki Barber said this morning. He's like, "Oh yeah, whenever we would hang out around, whenever it was Giants and Colts, they would hang out with Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning would try to get them all drunk, and then start asking them questions about, oh, so how does your offense work? But he's okay.
Oh,
It's bullshit.
by the way, normally we mention passings on the. You may not know this one, but this is a bear related passing that I have to bring up. When I became a Bears fan, this was like '07, so it was very hard back then because there was like no YouTube. Well, there was YouTube, but it wasn't as big as it was where you can, you know. I did not know about streams at times. There was no that no now I had no knowledge that there was actually a radio, the way you could listen to the radio for those, which was 670 the score. I found out a year later that I could actually listen to 670 the score on the radio online, and I
No one
started
listens
doing
to radio anymore.
it. Again, this is like 2008.
No one
But
has ever listened to the radio ever, Frank. What are you talking about? Greg Rosado told me so.
And I still listen to 670 The Score
Nope.
a lot.
No, you don't.
One guy who was on 670 Score at the time, who I would listen to a lot back in those days, like the late 2000s, early 2010s, was a guy by the name of Terry Boers, who is a Chicago sports. Hold on a minute.
That's a really
Anyway, getting back to it, Terry Boers, a Chicago sports media legend. He had a show with Bernstein. Why am I forgetting Bernstein's first name? But it was a show. Their show was called Boers and Bernstein, and they were a very popular Chicago media radio show for a long time on 670 The Score. And sadly, recently, just a couple of days after the Bears season ended, we lost Terry Boers. They had a big celebration for him on the station yesterday. But yeah, rest in peace to Terry Boers, an absolute legend in Chicago sports history. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. I totally forgot about it. Normally we mention passings at the beginning of the show,
yeah.
but we're doing that here at the end. But rest in peace, Terry Boers. But getting back to the Hall of Fame, yes, Bill Belichick should have been first ballot. Absolutely.
It's so stupid that you see. Here's the thing with the Hall of Fame. It's a joke. The MLB Hall of Fame's a joke. The NFL Hall of Fame's a joke because you're letting these little fucking dorks, writers, who
Yeah.
for the first time ever feel powerful. Like, don't worry, I'll uphold the game. I won't vote in Ichiro Suzuki. I'll
Yeah.
protect the game if I don't vote in Barry Bonds. I will protect the NFL by not voting in Bill Cheater Belichick. Like, come the fuck on. Bill Belichick's been to 11 Super Bowls, most of them as Patriots, but he was also defensive coordinator for the Giants.
Yep. That's true.
But because he didn't want to answer stupid fucking questions in Boston for the Patriots, it's oh screw him.
Yeah. That what you do in the media should not have anything to do with whether you get to the Hall of Fame or not. It really shouldn't. The media shouldn't be the guys voting on that in the first place. It should be the
It's all the
peers.
writers.
It should be the peers of these guys, like players and coaches, former players. There should be where like when you retire, you have a certain amount of time to get voted into the Hall of Fame. For that point, when you're up for the Hall of Fame, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. It's after you either get in or are off the ballot where you're allowed to vote. But
So Lewis
players,
fucked himself.
former players, and former coaches, whether they go in the Hall of Fame or not, should be the ones voting on this. And like I said, if they're up for the Hall of Fame, obviously there's a conflict of interest. You can't vote in that time. But once you go in the Hall of Fame or once you're off the ballot, you should be allowed as a former player to vote. It shouldn't be media personnel voting for Hall of Fame. That's crazy.
Like imagine Andrew Gross is the reason why. Imagine if Andrew Gross was like a just dickhead. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to vote for Wayne Gretzky because he beat the Islanders in the Stanley Cup in 1984. Therefore, I'm not going to vote in the greatest player."
Well, I don't think one vote would have kept Gretzky out of the Hall of Fame. It would need a
It
lot
was it
more
was
people
it
to
was
feel
all the
bad.
Islanders beat writers.
Yeah,
They're holding a grudge from '84. Like, oh, I remember. We're going to hold the grudge.
yeah, that's
See,
that's just crazy.
Patrick R wouldn't vote in any Canadian player. Canadians player. I still haven't forgiven you as what you did to me.
Yeah, something needs to. They always fans always talk about something needs to be done with divisional realignment, which I disagree with 100%.
Don't
Something
worry,
needs
it's
to be
coming.
done. Something needs to be done about who votes for a Hall of Fame. The media should not have their hand in that. That should be players, former players, and former coaches who are either in the Hall of, as long as they're not up for a Hall of Fame vote themselves. Because obviously, if you're on the ballot, you can't vote. That's a conflict of interest. But as long as you're not on the ballot, you, as a former player, former coach, should be allowed to vote on that ballot.
Well, yeah,
Even if you're
division.
even if you're never going to make the Hall of Fame, like as somebody who's a former player, former coach, you should be allowed to vote. That's the way things should be.
It's funny that you bring up division realignment because that's coming to the MLB soon.
And that's bullshit if it does. There's no reason to change it.
Here's what Manfred had said a couple of weeks ago. Basically said that it's going to kind of be like East versus West, like in the other sports. But the Yankees and Mets would not be in the same division.
He said that?
So, yeah.
So we still wouldn't be rivals.
We still wouldn't be in the same division, but we'd be in the same conference.
It's still not rivals.
Essentially, he tried to kind of keep the rivalries. He tried to keep the cost for travel as much down as possible. So we probably would be in the same division as, I guess, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays. I don't know about the Phillies. Because we still got our... But we would be done with the Marlins and the Nationals, probably. Because maybe we get the Orioles or the Nationals, either or. Because they're in the same area. But, yeah, the Marlins would be done. California would probably form your own division and just hold the Dodgers division.
All right, so all right, so like I said, our next show will be Judgment Day 2004 review, and then we will move on from there. And of course, be on the lookout for our Islander monthly recap coming up soon. Thank you for those who have watched. If you liked it, please subscribe. Please like and subscribe. And we will see you again soon. Tro, you got anything else you want to add?
If you know the Rangers suck, clap your hands. If you know it. That's all I gotta add.
All right, we'll see you.
Hopefully they're getting their ass kicked right now. That looks very silly.
I hope not. All right, we'll see you again soon. Thank you for everybody who's watched.